Visual JForex, we will be continuing our work using the indicator Ehlers Laguerre Relative Strength Index. This is the third part, and in today's session, we will be completing the sell side and we will see how we can go about executing the sell trade whenever we see that the situation is favorable enough for the shorting opportunities using this indicator. So now let us head to the Visual JForex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. In prior two sessions, I had completed the setup this far, where the instrument subscription has been defined. After that, the position amount requirement was placed, and these four, not four, I think, how many are these? These are five in all. So five LRSI blocks are being used. First two are of 2 hours, whereas latter three are of 15 minutes each. And to look at the price action data, we are also relying on the gate historical candles. This will be the cluster of 4 candles, so 15 minutes each. And apart from that, these individual single candles blocks, the gate historical candle of varying time periods have also been added. To define certain requirements, these calculation expression blocks have been used. And then on the lower side, these buy side equation is in place. Okay, this is already complete, and this is the trade command block where the order is going to be placed with the lot amount of 0.1 million, and these defined predefined stop loss and take profit levels. Now we get back to the sell side. What we have to do, I will explain to you. First we will have to go to the JForex platform. This is the Euro USD chart, which I will change to 4 hours first. Okay, this is the 4 hourly chart for the Euro USD, where we have the LRSI plotted at the bottom. We want to go for the sell trade whenever we have the bearish momentum prevalent in the underlying instrument, and for that we are relying on the output value of the LRSI block of last 4 hours, and this value should be below 50. Only if the LRSI output value is below 50 for last 4 hourly candle, we will be looking to initiate the short sell trade, provided the penultimate 4 hourly candle was not in the oversold territory. And for that we will add the condition that the penultimate block, that is the 4 hourly candle block of the LRSI with the shift value of 2, it should have its output value above 20. And for the last 4 hourly candle block, the LRSI block with the shift value of 1, the output needs to be below 50. So that will pretty much provide us the optimum setup for initiating the sell trade. And then we have to look for the lower time frame charting to initiate the trade or at the opportune time. And by opportune time, I mean that there has been somewhat correction, some retracement on the lower time frame chart, and after that the underlying instrument is trying to resume its downward momentum, and to make sure the conditions are favorable for initiating the new short sell trade, we will be considering the LRSI output value of the 15 minutes candle periods with different lookback periods. Last 15-minute candle blocks, LRSI output will need to be below 80, and the LRSI block with the shift value of 4 and 7. So these are the LRSI block with shift value of 4 and 7. For these two blocks, the output will need to be stuck at 100, exactly at 100, so it should equal 100. And this is being defined to make sure that the underlying instrument has been in the overbought territory on the lower time frame chart for at least some time, and after that it is seeing some renewed selling momentum. And now that the value is dropping below the 80, this might be the time to go for initiating the trade. So that's the simple logic, and it is also fairly simple to define. So now we head back to the Visual JForex board, where I will need to add 8 if blocks and then trade command blocks, and 8 is the number of if blocks, simply because we have to make the setup symmetric, and when we define the conditions for the buy side, 8 blocks were needed. So this time around the same number of if blocks will have to be used, and after that it will be the turn of trade command block, which is going to be a pending open order. We will be placing the order above the current price. That means it will be a sell limit order. We will be placing the order above the current market price by the half of last hour's open, sorry, not open, high and low difference. So we will be looking at the volatility. We will see what is the actual difference for last 1 hour. For that we are relying on the cluster of 4 blocks, 4 candles of 15 minutes each, and we will consider its high and low, for which we have already carried out this calculation, and then after that it has been multiplied by 0.5. So this output we will add to the last tick price, and that will be our sell entry point. Order validity is going to be 1 hour. For that also the calculation was carried out in prior session. So this time only one more calculation will be needed, and that will be this one, similar to this one. Only thing is, last time around we deducted, this time around we will need to add. Okay, so let us get started. First thing first, 4 hourly block of the LRSI should show its value, output value, below 50. Okay, and for that I will take 50 as the second input, and this needs to be less. First input less than second input. All right. This is the penultimate 4 hourly candle output for LRSI, and this one should have its value above 20. First input greater than second input. With 4 hourly requirements done, we look for the setup of the 15-minute candles, 15-minute LRSI blocks, and here, as I explained to you on the JForex chart, we will have to make sure that the price action is dipping after having spent some time in the overbought territory on the lower time frame of 15 minutes. So line 18 output will need to be below 80. First input less than second input, and these two, the LRSI output values for the 15-minute time period with the look back period of 4 and 7. This should be exactly at 100. So we will need line 19 and line 20 to be equal to 100. Okay, we have defined these LRSI requirements. We also want that last 15-minute candle should have closed lower. So we have to consider the price action of candle 22, and its closing will need to be lower than its opening. So we take candle 22nd, auto created variable, As you can see, candle period is 15 with the look back period of 1. So candle 20 seconds close will need to be lower than its open. First input less than second input, and after that, whenever price starts to dip below the last 15-minute candle close, the order needs to be placed, and for that we have to compare the candle 23rd and candle 24th closing levels with the candle 22nd. These are to get historical candle with the candle period of 10 seconds. Only difference is shift value 1 and 2. One is last 10-second candle and another is penultimate 10-second candle. And we will need candle 24th candle close to have been above candle 22nd candle close, and candle 23rd candle close will need to be below candle 22nd candle close. So candle 22nd candle close is going to be the common input. This will need to have been greater, and this one will need to have been less. After this, we can join it to the trade command block. Ending open. First input less than second input. I will get these if blocks arranged in a more systematic manner so that it becomes easier for us to understand the flow. Alright, we will keep this trade command block here. Join it to the multiple action. Okay. And let us color code this iteration flow to make sure that the flow is unbroken. Yes, it is. Now one more calculation expression block needs to be added first. So mathematical component, calculation expression. Here it comes. I will have to disconnect it and join it here. This is going to be fairly simple. We want to add the half of the difference of last hour's high and low. So this output value OD will need to be added to the last tick ask. A1 plus A2, and the output will be our price for entry. Okay, now let us join it back to multiple action. Coming to defining of the input values, input parameters for this trade command block. Default instrument is going to remain as it is. Trade amount I will change to 0.1 million. Slippage is going to be 2 pips. Stop loss and take profit we will keep the same as was done for the buy side. So stop loss is going to be 10 pips and take profit is going to be 20 pips. And order validity is going to be 1 hour. We have already defined it, OVT. So with this we have defined all the parameters, all the input parameters for the trade command block for placing the sale trade whenever we see that the conditions have become favorable for execution of the sale trade depending on the setup which we have defined using the RSI. This is the complete setup. I hope you have been able to understand the logical part as well as the execution of the logic using this LRSI block, and hopefully you will be able to replicate the setup on your own on the Visual JForex board. If you have any difficulty or any query, you can write to me in the feedback section, and whenever the setup is ready, I would recommend that you carry out extensive testing on the historical data on JForex platform, and there you will get the idea whether the underlying setup is profitable or not. This is simply for the representative purpose of how we can go about using these LRSI block. So this is not like a perfect setup. You can always make changes as per your requirement, and that's how these systems are developed. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.